Now the next thing that we have coming up is a community moment. So the community moment is where we invite someone from our very own community to come up and actually tell us something that they've learned or experienced. It's basically our way to kind of live vicariously through somebody else, because not everybody has the same experience as they go through life. So we have Tim Ricks coming up today. Once again, his name is misspelled in here. When I asked him what kind of words would he use to describe himself, I asked him for 3 words and he gave me 4. So obviously he's a troublemaker. But the 4 words that he gave me are intense, sailor, adventuresome, and outspoken. I asked him what his favorite KC spot is, and he actually told me that he likes the city market. So the city market's in River Market. It's like a cool little spot in town where they have like the farmer's market, and there's also a whole bunch of different shops and whatnot. So you should check it out. And then I asked him for a warning label, and what he said is, if you want someone to judge you, go somewhere else. So if you wouldn't mind helping me invite up Tim Ricks.
Hi, my name is Tim Ricks, and I want to kind of tell you stories today. I moved up to New York on a whim as soon as I got a social work degree. And it was kind of a cultural experience, for sure. Very expensive, as we all know. I had a sailboat, a little one, and I talked to people about maybe living on my sailboat to cut the cost down. And one of the men that I was talking to said, only a nut would stay in a 25-foot sailboat. Yeah. And I have something in common with squirrels, you know. And I'm cheap. So I decided to stay in a sailboat, very small, considering that somebody was going to live in it. Rated for 4 people or for one big size Missourian. During my times of staying on the sailboat, often I found people coming up to me and saying, geez, I always wanted to stay on a sailboat. It had always been a dream of theirs. And I always would ask, do it, because that's the way you dream something, you should just do it. And I found out that what they were really talking about often was they wanted a floating home, something that was as big as a house, had hot and cold water and things like that. Well, that's not the way a small sailboat is. It's a kind of a rough life. You don't have the comforts, you don't have security. You're kind of on the edge. You're in the elements, as I would say. So there's benefits, I found, on living on a sailboat. First of all, I was able to leave the hatches open, and I was part of nature every day. I woke up at sunrise the minute I smelled the sun. The birds would sing, the fish would come out, and splash around, and it was a beautiful experience to be tied to it. The discomforts were that if it was hot, it was miserably hot. If it was cold, I had an air conditioner unit that I lugged around, and it would drip on your head as you were sleeping. It was uncomfortable at best. Living on a sailboat had a price, but I can remember waking up on the Hudson River with a view that was outrageous. I'm not big on photos. I don't think a photo would catch it half the time. So I avoided it, but I have it in my mind. It was pink, purple, with haze, and the sailboat mast all around me, and the halyard spanking the mast, and the sounds. It was almost magical often when you woke up. And those were the prices that you may pay to stay on a sailboat. But it was worth it to live that kind of life. And then I went to go do social work during the day. Let's see. My story today, I tell stories, I think, because I've had a hard time writing in my life. I didn't get my education until I was much older. Couldn't read or write most of my life. And so I remember life as stories as I put together. So this story is, you gotta start out each day with a song. And I heard that from a song on Jimmy Durante. Do anybody remember Jimmy Durante? And I said, how, you know, that had such a good message to me. I started to do it, and I'd sing out loud. The problem was I sang out at 5:15 in the morning at the dock. Yes. My neighborhood was a rough neighborhood. We had characters. And so it wasn't above them to leave a dead fish or throw cans at me. The thing that I found out, that if I didn't sing my morning song in the morning, they'd ask me why. Why I didn't, because deep down, there's something about singing in the morning that changes your paradigm. It sets your compass or your computer to a really good place to be in the morning. So here I am. I'm getting harassments from everybody, and although I know it was out of love, but I sang out loud. I'm not shy, you know. I just sing bolted out, and actually I sang from the song in Oklahoma, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." And if you listen to it, it's a song to nature. And I'm not singing to people. Everybody has probably a song that would work for them, not mine, but they have a song that would help them in the morning. It absolutely changes you, I would say. So, here I was thinking that people didn't like me, or I was, you know, kind of strange, and I sang it out loud to wake everybody up. I don't care. I sang it to nature. I didn't care what people thought of me. One morning, I got a knock on my boat, just like you would on a regular door. They knock on your bow. And I was below, and I was in my, I was having coffee. Below meant that your house consists of, when you go downstairs or below, you walk down like this, and that's the height that you have in there. And then if you didn't do that, you had a bloody head. And then you sat down, and your living room was here. Your kitchen was here. Your reading room was here, and your bed was here. And to get in the bed, don't even talk about it. So, and the bathroom, oh yes, the Alice in Wonderland bathroom. You literally had to, I won't do it in front of you. Oh, I might. But you had to back into it with your pants kind of dropped, and you sat down and hoped you made a good target. So, it was a drawback living in 25-foot square foot. Not square foot, but 25-foot sailboat. Well worth it. But I heard a knock on my boat, as I said. There's a man who says, "Are you the man who sings every morning?" And I said, "Indeed I do." And I was getting ready to, defend myself because I thought he was mad at me, He said, well, he was across the bay in Haverstraw, New York, which was 1.5 miles across the bay, or across the river. And he said that he had heard me a few days before, because sound travels well on water. And he said that he was ready to commit suicide. And he heard me saying, "I'm with Jimmy Durante. You gotta start out each day with a song. Even when life has gone wrong, you'll feel better. Hell, you'll even look better." to one more if I have enough time. I'm never too understanding of time. I see a lot of people drink coffee here. And I had a chance here. I race sailboats still. And I went down to a big regatta and I had my sailboat in the water and I got there at sunrise. And there was dew on the grass and I walked down to my boat with my coffee. And has anybody been down by water, just sat and watched and thought about which day and had your coffee and just really relaxed? I was by myself. I thought how I would, what to do, and I was just enjoying myself. And after I was done, I decided I'd go up and get some equipment from my car. And I noticed that nobody else was there at that time in the morning. And I saw these footprints in the grass from the dew. And I looked at them and I said, oh my God, some really strange person, some mentally, deranged person has come down that hill. And I thought about it for a while, and I was the one that made the footprints. And I made that judgment all myself. Well, that's my stories. I hope you guys get to know me.